Hello and welcome to Dear Comms, the coffee break podcast where we tackle your biggest corporate comms challenges. My name's Imogen.
And I'm Amanda. We're going to give you some practical, no-nonsense advice so you can focus on the things that will really drive influence, engagement, and impact.
Now, Amanda, how many times have you had to explain what you actually do to somebody?
Lots.
The whole time. This listener has. They wrote to us and said, everyone thinks my job is so easy. All you have to do is write emails and make posters, they say. How do I help leadership see the value and effort behind my team's work? We get it. We understand. Someone needs a poster? Go to comms. They've decided they need a new logo, another new logo.
Always logos.
They go to comms. There's a super duper important email that needs to go out to a mailing list of 5,000 different people. Comms. So much of our work is misunderstood, underestimated, and we're just seen as a department that sends stuff out.
You know, part of this is on us. We say yes far too often, which means that we're doing work that doesn't clearly align with business objectives and strategy. I think sometimes there's an element of making it look easy, because you know what?
We're so good.
But this means we don't often get the recognition for the effort involved because they don't see it. And yet, cobbler's children, we shy away from telling our own story and all that. We're too busy doing to talk about what we're doing. But if we want to have real influence and you want people to understand their value, that can't go on. And we need to, demonstrate the impact that we have.
How do we solve this? I think the easiest way to solve this is to run a communications campaign about communications.
Makes sense.
And the first thing you do when running a campaign is you work to understand who that audience is. So what does value look like to your leadership? You say you want to help leadership see the value and effort behind your work. What does that look like to them? What language do they speak? What do you do that connects with their values, their drivers, their ambitions? What do they care about? Once we understand that audience a little bit, we can start talking the right language. It's not enough just to do the work. We have to show that the work we're doing is actually working, I guess. There's no point in sharing results that don't mean anything to your leaders. They probably have very little interest in engagement rates or click-throughs or views. They want to see something that connects to the thing that they care about, which, of course, is the bottom line. So how is comms saving money, making money, delivering on business goals? Think about how do your work contributes to improved retention, for example. Does the employee survey show that employees are more productive? Do more people understand the company's strategy and their role in it? If you don't have metrics to show this, then you need to put something in place.
I think that's really important about metrics and showing how things are done. And quite often it's helpful to invite key leaders to be part of the process. That helps them understand just what goes on behind the scenes. So sharing quick status reports that highlighting the different steps that are needed to get that email sent out. You also need to highlight the blockers and challenges and share results regularly. A quick win, a massive celebration. Don't be afraid to highlight the work that you and the team are doing behind the scenes.
I think it's about shifting perception, isn't it? It's shifting that perception from easy to essential. What are the kind of things that anyone listening can start to do now?
And metrics. So if you don't have metrics, you need to think about what KPIs you can put in place that show engagement, sentiment, behavior change. Do you have pulse surveys or focus groups that can get you feedback that can demonstrate your value to leadership? Are you measuring people's change in perceptions or actions before that communication and after to show that difference? Let's speak up in meetings. An email is probably part of a wider campaign to increase employees' knowledge on strategy A. What else did you do? You've got to show how you're measuring success. One thing I used to do when I was in house was create a dashboard, a one-page report that showed the impact of comms each month, internal and external. So metrics, successes, team impact. It's definitely worth sharing with your leadership on a regular basis.
I think that's right. It's not your leader's fault that they don't know the value comms has. I'll caveat that. It's not totally their fault. No one is going to speak up for you and comms. It's your role as a leader in communications to speak up for yourself. It's very difficult. It feels cringeworthy. It feels boastful. But it's a really essential part of showing that you're more than posters and emails.
Absolutely. Who drives engagement? Who aligns teams? Who helps achieve business goals? Who builds pride and motivation and helps employees do their job better?
I think it's essential that we help leaders realize how lost they would be without a well-functioning comms function.
Agreed.
And we can only do that if we start telling that comms story to them in language that they know, language that they understand, language that they connect with. Because if we're not telling that story, no one's going to tell it for us. Quick, simple ways that you can start getting your voice out there. But that brings us to the end of this week's episode. If you've enjoyed it, share it around. We don't mind. We're very promiscuous like that. And we will see you next time.
Good job they can't see me laughing.